and welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be sharing with you the Desney tarot deck. This is a Kickstarter exclusive from Deckstiny, which was sent to me just this week. So first of all, I will show you the box. As you can see, it's quite glitzy. You can see some of the writing here that says Kickstarter exclusive is in a lovely gold. It is number 142. Out of however many copies. Each of the Deckstiny decks tend to be limited to a number of particular copies. The author is Marte Horonuma, the artwork is Umsin Fumfat, and the artist is Big Show, and I'm never really sure if I'm pronouncing those names correctly, so apologies if I'm not. There are actually 80 cards in this tarot deck rather than the standard 78. So 22 major as normal, 40 minor, 16 court cards and 2 special cards. So we will now open the box, and as you can see upon opening it, there's beautiful floral designs around the edge. I just want to say that Deckstiny seem to be producing at the moment a lot nicer packaging compared to their previous packaging. Inside of this, it just says Deckstiny really nicely. But this is a really sturdy cardboard box, and a lot of Deckstiny's previous decks were in tuck boxes, which are a lot more flimsy. As you can see straight away, the deck has got holographic gold edging. How funky is that? This is a standard tarot size. And the first card you can see here is indeed a certificate. All of the Deckstiny decks come with certificates, which are really nice if you want to keep them. I personally take them out and put them to one side, but these are just to prove exactly which edition you have. And these are glitzy. As you can see, there is holographic writing on these cards. We also have some bonus cards. We've got the Pamela Coleman Smith card here. Beautiful. And we've got the A.E. Waite card. As you can see, it's all illustrated in like cartoon style. And then we've got the Fool. Now I'm just going to show you the backs of these cards. They are reversible, as you can see. There is a tiny bit of glitz just here and here, but they are reversible, almost like a compass here. Really pretty, especially in contrast to the gold holographic edging. It just looks really lovely, very rich. So we'll have a look through the deck now. So as you can see, here's the Fool. The titling, as you can see, is at the bottom and the numbers at the top, both in holographic gold. So I'll try and tilt them so you can see the image and the holographic titling. So the Fool here is in cartoon style, beautifully done. A lot of Deckstiny's decks are illustrated in a modern but traditional way, in which I mean that they use the Rider-Waite Smith layout and setup of the tarot deck, but the imagery is modern. You still have the traditional sort of settings, so the cards are easily recognisable, so they're usable for all levels of readers, but they are a bit different. Also, Deckstiny do not provide any guidebooks, so if you are a beginner reader, you will need to buy your guidebook separate to this deck. So there's the Fool. And then we have the Magician, looking rather suave there. He looks really cool. It's almost like a Desney character. When I say Desney, I think you all know I'm referring to Disney. So obviously this deck, the name Desney will make you instantly think of the good old Disney, and that's where we're heading for, really. You will recognise therefore some of these characters. Here's the High Priestess, and if you look closely, I'm sure you'll recognise the figures from some of the films and books. Here we've got the Empress, who to me looks very Rapunzel. I might be wrong there, but she is beautiful in these autumnal colours. Really pretty strawberries on her dress. I love this sort of fertility and the autumnal sort of theme here. I like this. Then we have the Emperor. It's really nicely done. And the Hierophant. All the characters do look really Disney-ish, but they're not anyone particular that I would recognise. Some of them I can sort of associate with certain films, books, but not all. Here we have the Lovers, nicely done there. And then we have the Chariot. There's a real sort of child sort of charm to this deck. So I think it's a good one for younger readers. Here's Strength. Now this lion here to me looks a bit Lion King-ish, if you would agree. And then we have the Hermit. I've always associated the Hermit card with that sort of Snow White witch on the mountain kind of look. And it is that sort of look, except for more of a wizard. And then we have the Wheel of Fortune and all the change. Really animated and coloured card. And then we have Justice. And the Hanged Man. Now I always make sure that I flip this card over so you can see they are perfectly happy. They are not at all uncomfortable. Nice and serene, hanging upside down there. The Hanged Man. And then we have Death, which is quite interestingly done. Quite dark card there. And Temperance. You have to excuse the noise of my washing machine revving up in the background. And the Devil there, looking quite characteristic. And then the Tower. Interesting depiction of the Tower there. It's very traditional. Flames and lightning. Very, very frightening. And then we have the beautiful Star card. Really nicely done. Such a bright and happy card. And then we have the Moon, which is beautiful. And the Sun. And then Judgment. So these are very traditional, like I said, but quite childlike at the same time. And then we have the World. So that's the end of the major arcana. So we'll now move on to the minor arcana. So we've got the, I was going to say the first of wands, I mean the Ace of Wands and the 2. Now you can see here the numbers on top, so it just says wands at the base. And then we have the 3 and the 4, the lovely card of Celebration there, really nicely done. And then the 5, that card of quarrels and silly arguments and just those kind of bad days, nicely depicted. And the 6, that Pride, that sort of looking into what you've achieved kind of card, beautifully done. And then the 7, again, really quite Disney there. And then the 8, we don't have any figures on, it's just that pure speed of them wands flying. And then the 9 and the 10, that overwhelmment, carrying a heavy burden. And then we have a page, very pretty page, and a knight on his horse. And the Queen with her cat there. She looks very autumnal. I like that with the sunflowers. And then we have the King. Really nicely done. So moving on to the cups, we have the Ace of Cups. I do love this card. And the 2 of Cups. And the 3. That sort of getting together with a sisterhood or your friends. Really nice card there. And then the 4, that sort of being disappointed in the world around you. And the 5, that grieving card, that sadness, that loss. Really lovely depiction. I can't get my words out today. Then we have that 6, that nostalgia. And the 7, with all the choices. And the 8, beautifully done. And the 9, interesting. And the 10, with that beautiful rainbow. So very traditional. Here we have the Page. And the Knight. And the Queen, and she's by the sea there, and the King. All very lovely and watery. Moving on to the swords, so there were traditional suits as well. The Ace, and the 2 there with the blindfold, and the 3, no figures, just a heart with 3 swords. So that's quite a traditional card. Then we have the 4, that card of rest, that card of needing to take time, and the 5. And the 6 are moving away there, beautifully done. And then we've got the 7 and we've got the 8, really nicely illustrated. I think these are really, it's a nice deck. And the 9 of Swords there with the anxiety and the nightmares. And the 10. And then we've got the Page. And then the Knight rushing in on his horse. And the Queen. And the King. Very nicely done there. Moving on to the Pentacles, we've got the Ace there, and the 2, and the 3, and the 4. That holding on to your money there. And the 5, this is beautifully done, that lovely winter scene. And then we've got the 6 of Pentacles there with the sharing your money, and the 7 with your harvesting, and the 8 with the hard working, and the 9 being adorned with your material wealth, and the 10, that family card. And then we have a page, and the Knight, and the Queen, beautifully done, and the King. And then finally we have just a Deckstiny card. It's an art card, so I'll put that to a side with the bonus card. So as you can see, we've got 4 extra cards to your usual traditional deck there, and then this is the deck itself. Beautifully done. There are no happy squirrels in this deck, which quite often come with Deckstiny decks. There are, however, the extra cards of the Pamela Coleman Smith and the A.E. Waite, etc. So it's a really unusual deck. It is a Kickstarter exclusive, so I'm really looking to have this in my hands. Is it something that you'd like? Is it something that you find interesting? I was sort of hoping for a bit more Disney in the Desney, but I might be totally wrong on that. But beautiful deck. Let me know what you think. Thank you for watching and take care.